In this video, I'm gonna tell you how you can prepare yourself for a long bike ride. My name is Neyfi Del Rosario and I am a holistic nutritionist here in New York City, and in this channel I discuss everything about nutrition, fitness and exercise that'll help you melt the fat off, and if you're into that, please consider subscribing. I just came back from the gym and I destroyed my legs. So now it's time to do some cardio. As you can see, I'm wearing my cycling kit because I'm getting ready to go out. But one of you reached out to me and asked me a question that it was a very good question for me to make a video about. And if you guys have any questions or any topics that you want me to discuss, you can always reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to help at least one of you guys. If I can help one person by making videos, that means I'm doing something right. Also, some of these tips are very useful for not only cycling but other types of cardio. So if you run, row, swim or do any other type of cardio, some of these tips are gonna be very helpful. I would advise for you guys to watch the full video. So if you're planning to increase your mileage on your bike or go as far as possible, you need to take your nutrition seriously, right? You need to fuel your body properly. So what I like to do an hour or 2 hours before my bike ride, I would have a very carb heavy meal, but the meal should not be so big that it will impact your performance. For example, a good meal would be 2 peanut butter jelly sandwiches. You can have the calories and the carbs in there, or you can eat some rice cakes with like fruit and Greek yogurt. That's some good carbs, some good protein, right? Something that you don't want to do is before your bike ride, you don't want to eat something that's very heavy. You don't want to eat a ton of potatoes and a steak, right? If you eat a lot before your bike ride, you're gonna feel lethargic and you're gonna lose performance, right? So you gotta make sure you gotta eat something that has carbs, that has the calories to carry you for a very long distance, but it's not gonna be so much food that is gonna impact you from, going very far, very fast, right? And if you get to a distance and you feel yourself running out of energy, you can always take some food on your bike ride, right? For example, if I'm going for a bike ride that is longer than 30 miles or longer than 25 miles, I would take some food with me, right? You can take something that is fast digesting, that has fast digesting carbs, like a lot of sugar, right? A good food item that you can take on your bike ride will be one of those gels that you can buy and just take on your bike ride. I'm gonna try to leave the link down in the description to Amazon if you guys are interested in some of that. So what happens is when you go for a very long distance, the food that you ate 2 hours before your bike ride is gonna run out, right? You're gonna burn all those calories and you're gonna bunk. You're gonna hit the food wall that you don't wanna hit when you're trying to go far. But you don't need to buy any of those gels. You can also take some peanut butter jelly sandwiches. You can take candy bars. You can take cakes. I've seen people taking, protein shakes and stuff, right? You can also add calories to your water, so you can take in your calories while you keep yourself hydrated and you get your calories that way too. Another thing that you need to keep in mind when you're trying to go as far as possible is that you need to pace yourself, right? I understand most people that watch this channel about the cycling stuff, you guys have very fancy bikes or very fancy trail bikes that are made to go as fast as you can, right? Don't do that, right? And I even suffer from this. When I see some other guy just blast past me, I have the urge to just click a gear down and just go chase them, right? But if you're trying to go for as long distance as possible, you need to go at a good pace that will allow you to go as far as possible, right? Imagine if you're a runner and you're in a marathon, right? Race starts and you sprint as fast as possible for the first 3 miles and everybody's like, oh my God, that guy is so fast. But if the race is 30 miles and you're running as fast as you can for the first 3 miles, what's the chance that you're gonna keep that pace up for 30 miles, right? If you're going way too hard from the beginning, there's a big likelihood you're not gonna make it to the distance that you wanna make it, right? So your pace is individual, right? There are fast riders, slow riders, there's people that like to be at a high cadence, low cadence, right? So for me, and what works for me and might not work for you, for me what works when I'm trying to go a long distance is 130 to 135 beats per minute and like 65 cadence. That's not hard at all, but it's such a slow pace that will allow me to go, 40, 50, 60 miles if I'm really pushing it, right? By taking food with me and doing all of that. So if you pace yourself and you don't go as hard as you can, or you don't go follow that guy that just passed you while you're riding your bike because he thinks he's better than you, just let him be, right? Do your cardio for you. Don't try to race anybody because it's not a race. And because the bike is also really important, let me get on my bike and show you the things that you should look out for when you're trying to go for a very long distance ride. So as you can see, I'm on my bike right now, and when you go to your bike ride, one thing that you should pay attention is your handlebars, right? If your handlebars are too far away and you're stretched out like this, it's gonna be very uncomfortable for you to ride your bike for a very long distance, because you're gonna be like, oh, I feel like I'm stretching like this all the time on my bike, right? So if you have handlebars like me, you wanna make sure you can reach your brakes from the hoods, from the drops. You wanna make sure your shifting is accessible from all positions, right? That's gonna make it safer for you to go for a longer ride. Also, your saddle is very important. As you can see, I can extend my leg almost all the way down, right? If your saddle is too high, you're gonna find yourself dipping your hips like this, trying to reach the pedals down. And that could be very uncomfortable to do for a long period of time if you're always riding your bike doing this while sitting on the saddle, right? And if your saddle is too low, you're not gonna be able to extend your leg all the way through. That also could be a problem for your knees and your legs, and it's very inefficient if you have your saddle too low, right? Also, you wanna make sure your saddle is comfortable. I made a video on this carbon fiber saddle from Amazon. I'm gonna leave the link up in the cards if you guys wanna know why I buy cheap saddles from Amazon and why you should too. Also, while you're riding your bike, you wanna make sure your water bottle is very accessible and you can just take it while riding your bike and not having to stop. If your priority is miles, you wanna make sure you are as comfortable as possible, your saddle is on the right position, and you can ride your bike. Also, your bike kit, you know, these fancy pants that I'm wearing right now, you wanna make sure you have a comfortable one that you don't feel like if you're wearing your kit and you feel it, that means that kit may not be the best for you. But if you don't feel your kit and you can just sit on your bike for hours and hours, that means the kit is doing its job. This is going to be the most important part of the video. If you're a beginner cyclist and you have not ridden your bike for very long, what's gonna help you the most to ride your bike for long distances is riding your bike more. It makes sense, right? If you wanna get better at riding your bike, just ride your bike more, right? And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, because I'll be making videos like this every single week to inspire you to become the healthiest version of yourself using the power of nutrition. And if you want to learn something new, here are 2 videos in the screen where you can learn something new right now. I love every single one of you. Tricep check.